My bad. Back in the building. I had to pop up on y'all tonight, man. Had to pop up on y'all tonight because I was sitting around thinking and I had a thought in my head. Hold on a second, y'all. Give me 1 second. All right. My bad. I had to pop up on y'all tonight, man. As y'all can see the title. Y'all come on in, hit the like button as you come in. It's late night. I'm sorry. I told y'all, I said, man, I'm going to try to stop doing these late ones. But that's just how I roll, man. I'm sorry. I can't help it. I have to move when I move. And typically for me, I'm a nighttime cat. So here we are. All of y'all who are on here, y'all just like me though. If you on here with me, you just like me. I don't care how many y'all, how few, how many, y'all are just like me. But let me see who we got on here. I see CC, I see Egalitarian, I see, is that Pies Young Pro? Holla at me, Pro. I see y'all, man. Jason say I'm always up this late. Yeah, man. If you're on here, man, then we are all the same. And I'm gonna let a few of y'all come creeping in. Hit the like button as you come in. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. Make sure you do that, and make sure that you always have your notifications on. So when you have your notifications on, then that immediately lets you know when your big brother is on, and that way, y'all can jump right in like y'all doing right now. So obviously, y'all have already, had your notifications on. So spread the word. We're going to talk about the topic that y'all see in the title, but we'll get into some album stuff at the end because y'all know I'm so close to having this album done and out, so I couldn't come on here without speaking on that. Um, Man, wow, I'm reading some stuff that's blowing my mind, man. But the topic tonight, man, is speaking the language of the people. We hear that all the time. We hear people say that all the time, man. Speaking the language of the people. You got to speak the language of the people, man. But what does that really mean? We have to ask the question, what does that really mean? Because the key component to even asking this question is understanding that applies to every category of life. Every category of life, man. And just from music to ministering, counseling, all the way down to just general conversation. General conversation. If you are not relatable, if you're not connecting with the people through the language you're using, it doesn't matter even if what you are saying is actual factual information, if everything you're saying is the truth, is the gospel down to the bone, if you are not able to relay it in a way that people can take it in and process it, it's not going to get through. It's not going to connect. Your words are going to basically fall on deaf ears. Your words are going to fall on deaf ears and your message is going to be lost. So when you hear a lot of people talk about communication, what is communication about? People say, oh man, you got to communicate. You got to learn how to communicate. Communicate. What is that really about? All it is having the ability to make what's in your mind connect and resonate with what's with somebody else's mind. That's all it is. Communicating is not just speaking words. Well, I am communicating. I'm talking to you. I'm communicating. Yeah, but you're not getting through. See, it's about getting through to the person that you are attempting to communicate with. See, there's a lack of communication if I'm not understanding what you're saying. See, so when you see speaking the language of the people, If all I know is English and somebody's speaking to me in German, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna be able to connect. I'm not gonna be able to relate because I'm not speaking their language and they're not speaking my language. See? And so again, it doesn't matter if the words are true. It doesn't matter if you speak in truth. It doesn't matter if you dropping bombs. In your mind, you think you dropping the greatest knowledge of all time. It's not gonna matter if people are not getting it. So let's go into it from a couple of aspects. As y'all come in, please hit the like button. I appreciate y'all for being up with me, man. This is on my mind, so I got to get it out to however many of y'all are on here. And I appreciate those who are. Um, in the field of music, I always use this as an example because a lot of artists, very intelligent, a lot of artists are very skilled, a lot of artists are very knowledgeable, and they have a lot to say. But their ability to take what's in here and bring it out to here, then take it from here back to here and out to the world, it doesn't go through. And I like to use gospel rappers as an example when I have this conversation. And let me say this beforehand, I have nothing against people who do gospel rap. I have nothing against people who do any type of rap that they feel is conscious or uplifting. I try to do the same thing. But one of the mistakes that I see people make as I use gospel rappers as an example is when you see a lot of gospel rappers who are putting down their songs, but they quote a lot of scriptures. They just quoting scriptures. And it says in Jeremiah, you know, and it's like, what you're saying is true. It does say that. The principle of what's being said might be absolutely facts. But when you're talking to people who are in the mud, when you're talking to people who have never really been in tune with that kind of language, or people who have just had it so hard that they don't even want to hear that kind of language, they don't even believe in it in some cases because none of those principles have ever worked in their favor just in their lifetime because they've had it so hard. So they look at you in a way like, I don't understand what you're talking about. And the person who's delivering the message, the gospel rapper or whoever, they delivering the message and they just saying, well, see, right here it says the Lord to the, I'm not feeling that. I'm not saying me personally, I'm saying that's how. So what has to happen is there are people who will relate to how you coming because they're on this level with you. So you speaking their language, but it's people over here, it's people over there, they're not relating. So you have a choice at that point. You have a choice to either say, well, man, they don't get it. It ain't meant for everybody to get. Or you can say, you can humble yourself and say, well, you know what? Maybe I need to explore an alternate method of communication and try to adjust my communication methods in a way that will possibly reach this person that I'm not connecting with. If indeed your purpose is to try to connect with the world. We don't just do music for our homeboys. We don't just do music for our friends. We don't just do music for our neighborhood. We don't just do music for our city. Those who really take this serious, we do it for the whole world. We do it for the whole world. So you have to figure out a way to speak your words and to relay your message in a way that if I'm from the hood and I'm speaking from a hood perspective, then it's somebody in the hood in London, England, that can listen to that and feel it the same way they feel it in the hood in Mississippi, Alabama, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Cali, Louisiana. See, that's why certain rappers always resonate the way they do, because they have connected. They speak in a way that connects with every hood. I may have never been to this state, but they feeling me in that state. I may have never been to that country, but they feeling me in that country, because they've learned to speak the language of the people. Now, some of us get so stuck up. Some of us get so high and mighty and so self-righteous and drunk on our own knowledge. Once we come into the knowledge, God's knowledge, it doesn't belong to us. It comes from the Most High. Some of us get so stuck up in our own knowledge that we look down on those who don't understand us. Man, they just ignorant. Actually, you are the one that's showing the ignorance, because you are not understanding how to make your message be a universal message, a relatable universal message. See? So when you talk about people who really have the desire to save and reach out and get people, those are the people who try to figure it out. I don't want to just speak words and then my people ain't understanding what I'm saying, or I'm not being myself. I'm trying to be something else, and I'm losing people, because it's like people are not stupid. Like all of y'all that are on this chat right now, y'all are not stupid. Y'all have listened to enough people talk. Y'all have listened to enough music, rappers. Y'all have listened to enough politicians. Y'all have listened to enough preachers to know when somebody is trying to pass over some lies and pass over some BS on you. And you also have listened to enough to know, well, you know what, man, that dude there, he real. I could tell there's something about him. I could tell he real. He authentic with his. We're not stupid. It's something that just connects in us and resonates with us to where we automatically just get that feeling. And it's a beautiful thing. And those who have that ability, they are not too high and mighty to come so-called down and stand shoulder to shoulder with the ones that's in the mud. Not too good to get your hands dirty with those who are in the mud. Is that rising ability? Thank you for your donation, Rising Ability. Let me read your comment real quick. Hope I don't lose my thought. 7 from Hog Mob's album, All or None. Does a good way of delivering the message using his real world experiences and also integrating gospel and scripture. Grand deception. Yeah, look, and don't get me wrong. I want people to understand. I only use gospel rappers as an example because of some of the ones that I've come in contact with, and I've actually had to counsel them on that. Now, what you're speaking about obviously is somebody who has mastered the ability to merge the actual experiences of his life and still incorporate the scriptures with that, but do it in a way that's relatable. See, we can't just spit a scripture to somebody. We got to explain it. See, We can't just say what it said in the book of Psalms or what it said in the Quran or what it said. We can't do that. We have to explain what it means. He got sense enough. He can read it himself. See? He can read it himself. So we have to get to the point where we have gained the ability to relay the explanation, because the growth is going to come from a person when they understand what you're talking about, not just hear what you're saying. See? So that's a great point. I appreciate that point, because there are many who have that ability. Now, back to what I was saying was that some people just have this thing where they feel like they too good to stand shoulder to shoulder or to stand face to face with people who are in the mud. Hold on, let me get rid of this cat real quick. Let me get rid of this guy real quick, man. We don't tolerate no immaturity, man. We don't do the immaturity. Yeah. This is a grown folks forum, man. If you want to play, you go somewhere and you play. But it's a grown folks forum. We come in here and we talk about real life situations. We talk about things that are gonna make us better. We come in here as still trying to sharpen steel. We come in here to learn and to teach and to be taught. That's me, because I come in here and I say what I say, then I read what y'all say, and I learn. I'm taught. I'm in the classroom as y'all drop jewels and knowledge on me just as much as I try to come in and drop them on you. But what we're not gonna do, we're not gonna play. We don't play. If you're somewhere and you wanna play, go to Toys R Us and get you some toys and you play, or get on the internet and find some game to play. But there's grown folks in here, grown men and women in this land. But yeah, at the end of the day, what we do is, some of us have this thing where we don't, man, I ain't going down there to talk to them. I'm not talking to them. Them people down there are crazy. They sell dope down there. They fight down there. Man, them people down there, man, they poor, man. They beg, they ask for money and always asking for food, and I'm not going down there. You can come and get on my Zoom and see my sermon. We have our church services on Zoom now, and you can. They can't get on Zoom. See, we have to make sure that we don't get high and mighty in our own self-righteousness. One of the qualities of Jesus, and I ain't no preacher, I have to throw that out there, is that he spoke the language of the people. He hung out with the sinners. When I say hung out, I don't mean he was out there doing what they was doing at the club, but he did what's called meeting people where they are. You meet people where they are, because they're not always able to come up to where you at. You ever been in a situation where somebody really needs some help, and they send for somebody? They say, man, can you tell such man? Then somebody go, hey man, tell them to come up here, and then tell them to come up here. And they might not, and they're not able at that moment. They need you in that moment to come to them, but we too good to come to them. Is that Tahia 9? Appreciate the love. Appreciate the love. Game, giving all my experiences. That's right. That's what I try to do, and that's what we all try to do. Appreciate that, Tahia. But people are too good to come down. Do you know how much the people in the poor areas, man, the hood, just do you know how much they appreciate? They don't just appreciate the things that people give and donate to them. They do appreciate that. If you send some food, they're thankful for the food. If you send some clothes and supplies, they're thankful for the clothes and supplies. But do you know how good it really makes them feel to see you actually come out and give it to them? How good it makes them feel to actually see you come out and talk to them, to touch them. If you're somebody reputable, if you're this well-known minister, if you're this well-known rapper, this well-known uh, uh, political figure, this well-known athlete, when you come out and you right there, man, that changes everything. Because you become an example of a goal that they can reach because they looking dead at you, especially if they know you came from their reality. And sometimes they don't know that you come from their reality until they talk to you. See? And they tell you, well, man, you know, I used to live right where you live, right there. That's why I'm back over here now, because I lived in these same apartment complexes back when I was your age. And everybody was saying I wasn't gonna do this, I wasn't gonna do that. Then I got myself together, and look at me now. I'm here to let you know you can do the same thing. Man, that sounds generic, that sounds cliche, but that's the truth, man. That goes a long way with people, especially people who are in a situation where they don't have any hope. Ain't much hope in the hood. But when you come and you give them that one little shot in the arm of hope, star football player, you see him on TV every day. You see him the big stage every day. Now he's right in front of you, talking to you, handing you some food and some supplies, and telling you that you can be somebody. You could be just like him or just like her. That go a long way, man. People don't forget who looked out for them when they was down. The same way they don't forget who didn't look out for them. They don't forget who turned their back on them. They don't forget who never showed up. A lot of cats came up in these same neighborhoods and never came back. It ain't always about your money. It's about your time. It's about the words. It's about something that you can say. Speak the language of the people. So you talking to somebody that's living in a bad condition. They living in a bad condition, and you talking to them. You want to come down and speak to them, and while they speaking to you, they cussing. They doing a lot. They saying a lot of cuss words. And you like, oh man, come on, man, quit cussing so much. You can't do that. You missing the point. They living in a reality that frustration and that pain, that hurt is dictating their language. So you have to bear with them on that. You have to give them that. And over time, as you start to be more consistent in your work with people, over time, they'll get it together. And they'll start to improve in the language. They'll start to improve in the activity. They'll start to improve in that. But in the heat of the moment, you ever tried to break up a fight between two people that was just at each other? And then while you breaking up the fight, you trying to talk to them? They ain't trying to hear that. You might do it anyway. Come on, man. Come on, man. It's not that important. Come on, bro. It's not. Come on. It's not that serious, man. It's not that. They ain't trying to hear that in the heat of the moment. So we meet people where they are, and you don't judge nobody. Over time, if we are the example, if we live a good example, and you keep close to them, the same way that bad behavior rubbed off on them just because of the condition that they were in, good behavior will rub off on them too as you start to bring them into better conditions. But meanwhile, we can't be self-righteous and judgmental. We got to speak the language of the people. And a lot of times we can't speak the language of the people because some people don't even know it. But even if you didn't come from a bad condition or some of the conditions that some of our people are in, just be yourself. Just be real. Speak a kind word. People recognize that too. Let's see who we got up in here, man. JoJo Jones, man, I see you. John Kerry. Appreciate all the love. David Velasco, my homie. Vegas in the building. I need to come to Vegas, man. Jason Jones. Jason Jones got to check out early. Yeah, man, if you got to leave, I understand. I know I jump on here late, man. But you can always come back and just pick up where you left off and watch the whole thing. A lot of people will come back later, you know. I promise I'm gonna do better. Dollar bill. Hey, I got about 3 of your tracks mixed down. I'm waiting on the rest of them. I want to send them all to you at the same time. I don't want to send one here, one there, one there. Man, you blessed me on this album, Dollar Bill. Bronx Net Service, man. The Bronx is in the building, man. The birthplace of hip hop. None of us would be doing what we were doing if it wasn't for those OGs in the South Bronx who started this thing up, man. My favorite rapper of all time is KRS-One, repping the South Bronx. Marik Salam K, been waiting for you to get on live. Let me see. Everybody, man, somebody need to help me with the Patreon thing. I'm really not knowledgeable with all that stuff, man. I need some help. What's up, Aaron? Rise in Ability said you can still have empathy and be 100 with them. Apathy will be the destruction of the human race. Edits, I see you. Edits, I see you, Lil Norm. Stephen Daffon, Mobile, Alabama in the building. Drifter. What's going on, man? Christopher Mims. Gun Magic. See, you say unrelated, but Valley of Decision hit. It's actually related. Valley of Decision is an example of not speaking the language and speaking the language. The deception, the tests, the trials and tribulations. So you right on top of it, man. Lil Norm, I appreciate the love, man. Lil Norm said, where that South Park merch at? Let me tell you who you can get that South Park merch from. You can holler at the homie Point Blank. Man, what's Blank's website? ogpointblank.com. You can holler at my sister Cliche. I got to get her website. Got that South Park merch, man. But yeah, that's where it's at. I'm gonna show y'all my shirts in a minute because they're available. Derek Mallory, there you go. St. Paul, Minneapolis in the building. Twin Cities representing. 651 to 612. Sunnyside, Texas in the building. Denver Dab C. Hold on, I missed somebody. I missed somebody a minute ago. I'll come back. But yeah, we're talking about speaking the language of the people. Vigorous, that's what I missed. Vigorous Warrior. I'll be in San Antonio performing live July the 10th. I will be in San Antonio, Texas on July the 10th performing live. So make sure you come through, man. Yeah. See, the greatest rappers of all time are those who related to the people. They spoke their words and it just connected with the people, man. They felt it. It's rappers that made people cry just from their words because they said something that was just like, man, how did this dude know my life? How did this dude know my life? He knows your life because he lived it. See? We are so connected in ways we don't even know. And it ain't just about being an entertainer. If you just a regular working man or woman in the hood or just anywhere and you want to get through to young people or anybody else, you got to learn how to speak their language. And when I say speak their language, I don't mean talking like the young people talk, trying to act like you on top of how the young people talk and think. I'm going to drop a bomb on y'all real quick. Sometimes speaking the language of the people does not involve speaking at all. I'm going to say that again. Sometimes speaking the language of the people doesn't even involve you saying a word. It involves you listening and understanding. Sometimes people just want to vent. Sometimes people just want to get it out. And if you just kick back and just let them get it out and simply just give them a, yeah, man, I understand where you're coming from. You just spoke the language of the people. You have connected with that person. We can't always be in counselor mode all the time. We ready to answer to solve the problem before they even get through telling you what it is. Well, man, what it is. See, I know it. See, I already know what you're going through, man. See, this is what it is. This is what you need to do. Nah, shh. Just listen sometimes. Just listen. We all got to work on that. I got to work on that. Just listen. Listening. You know how they say actions speak louder than words? And that's true in some cases. Listening speaks louder than words. That's another t-shirt. Don't steal my t-shirt idea. Listening speaks louder than words. Because sometimes that's all people want you to do. Sometimes people just want you to lend that ear without judgment, and then they're just going to move on. And that's what we should be willing to do for those we care about or those we don't even know. And they will remember that. People will remember that. People will remember that. The same way they'll remember when you try to condemn them for your lifestyle, to judge them for their lifestyle. See, that's the worst thing you can do. Somebody open up to you and confide in you, and then you start. See, man, that's your problem, man. That's your problem, man. See, y'all, man, you ignorant, man. See, that's where you messed up at, right there. See, you messed up when you start immediately attacking their flaw. You just lost them. When you just become so preachy and condemning, you just lost them. Jimmy Robinson says some people just want someone to feel where they coming from. That's it. And feeling don't always involve talking. I'm gonna give you an example. Sometimes you'll see somebody tell somebody their problems or what they're going through. This person will just be pouring out their heart, and you telling them what you're going through, and the person who's listening will start crying. They just listening to what the other person is going through, and they'll start crying. They're not saying a word because, like Jimmy just said, they are feeling what you're going through. They might have experienced it themselves, or they may not have ever experienced it. They just see your pain. They see the pain in the other person. It's like, man, I ain't never went through this. It's like somebody passing away, somebody, family member dying, mother, father dying. It's like, well, I can't relate to that. But seeing how you dealing with it, I feel it. So I got you. So speaking the language of the people ain't always about speaking. Sometimes it's just about knowing when to shut up. You might have been going back and forth. You might have been saying this and saying that and saying this and saying that. You got to recognize a point when it's time for you to stop talking. You know what? He getting a little extra. She getting a little extra. Let me fall back and just listen and let them get it out. Once again, Brother Christopher X has dropped another bomb of wisdom, as he always does every time he come on my chat. Every time Brother Chris comes on my chat, he says something that's greatly profound. He says sometimes they take passionate speaking as you attacking. That happens a lot too. That's another angle to it, because you have a lot of people who misinterpret the way you say something. And people are not able to be reached because they will focus on the way you said something instead of what you said. A level of sensitivity may come, or maybe something from their past that triggers that, based on the way somebody else may have spoken to them when they were little, and it sparks that every time they hear that tone or that volume, as opposed to just focusing strictly on what's being said. It takes a level of discipline. It takes a level of self-training if you're not already built like that. Because we all have been through that, where somebody can be saying something that's the absolute factual truth, but the way they said it turned you off. Or the way you said it turned them off. So we say, it ain't what you say, it's how you say it. And that could be different from passion, though, to my brother's point. Because sometimes I could be going, but man, we got to do this, man. We got to get out here. We got to, and then people are like, man, hold on. No, I'm not mad. I'm not mad. Why are you so angry? No, I'm not angry. I'm just passionate. Because it's something that we need to get done and we're not doing it. So I'm just imploring. I'm like, come on, man, we got to get this done. And people getting their feelings. That's different. See? So we also got to understand that in our daily life, in our circles, family members, friends, co-workers, associates, whatever the case might be, children, everybody processes things differently. A master communicator or a very good communicator learns how to communicate with each person in their life individually. So in other words, I can't talk. I may not be able, what I can say to Alan Crooks in a certain way, Alan might can take it. But Mr. Still Winning might say, hey, no, man, don't talk to me like that, man. You know, everybody's different, or vice versa. See? So everybody, it's like a coach of a team. You got different players. You got 15 players on the basketball team. You may could get through to this guy by getting in his face a little bit and hollering at him. But if you get in this guy's face and holler at him, he might just cower up and shut down. He may need to be coddled a little bit. Hey, man, come on, man. I believe in you, man. I really need you tonight. I know what you made of. Get out there and that's what gets him going. It's the same thing in our everyday life. Some of us have 3, 4, 5 children, 2, 3 children, whatever the case might be, and you can talk to one in a certain way and he's good with it, but you can say the same thing the same way to the other and they start crying. So you got to learn how to connect with that one. That one. Got to do that in our everyday life. You're speaking the language of the people. It's not always the same language. If I'm an individual who speaks multiple languages, if I'm able to speak 10 languages, and I walk into a room and there are 10 people who speak each language that I speak, I can't walk up to the person who knows Spanish only and start speaking Russian. I have to speak Russian to the Russian. I have to speak French to the Frenchman. I have to speak Spanish to the Spanish speaking person. See? But that's a skill that we have to grow and learn how to master or grasp. If our goal is to reach people. See? Our goal is to reach people, then that should be our desire to communicate with them in a way that actually reaches them. Let me give you a flip side to it real quick. Let me give you another dynamic to it, where people are absolutely able to speak the language of the people, but they do it in the wrong way. That's how a lot of deceivers and ministers deceive people. That's how people like Jim Jones, David Koresh, that's how people like that were able to manipulate and control people's minds because they spoke to people in a way that resonated with them. They connected with them. They spoke in a way that showed, man, I feel your pain. I understand what you're going through. And they connected on some level with them. Charles Manson, any of them, they connected on some level with those people, or they played on a vulnerability that the people may have had, but they basically utilized the same skill of knowing how to speak their language and knowing how to communicate with them, but they just used it the wrong way. They used it to deceive, manipulate, and influence people in the wrong way. Shout out to, is this that's Joe PZ1D33P. Much love to you. I ain't forgot about you. What up? Straight from Dallas, Texas. Glad to join one of your live sessions. Man, I'm glad to have you. I'm glad to have you. Appreciate that, man. Come through anytime. Appreciate the donation. Got to shout out to my girl, Tina P. Tina P. P stands for Philly. Philadelphia, PA. In the building. One of the realest in the game. Straight up. So we trying to learn how to speak the language of the people and understand the language. You can't speak it unless you understand it. You can't speak it you can't speak the language unless you understand it. If I hand you a card that has Arabic on it and you don't speak Arabic, Chinese on it, you don't speak Chinese, you have to understand it. Because you also have to know and understand the language of the enemy. See? There's a language that the enemy speaks too, that if you don't understand it, you'll be deceived by it. See? He's coming at you with this. He's coming at you with words. He's coming at you with manipulation, and it sounded good. Just like I just got through speaking about Jim Jones and David Correct. The language sounded good, but they didn't know that they were speaking to an enemy. And they got deceived. And they drunk the Kool-Aid. See, people don't understand what drinking the Kool-Aid means, because now it's just a term that, oh man, don't drink the Kool-Aid. But that comes from an actual event. When Jim Jones poisoned the Kool-Aid and made all of his followers commit suicide by drinking some Kool-Aid. A lot of black people got caught up in that. Also, one of the key components of speaking the language of the people and being able to communicate with the people. Pee Wee, I see you. Man, I got word is bond. I'm gonna call you tomorrow, man. Man, forgot to hit you back the other day. I'm glad I saw you to remind me. But another thing that we gotta understand, man, that a lot of times when we accumulated some knowledge, we feel like we know a little something, and we feel like what we know is valuable to the point where we got to get this message out. See, when you come into some knowledge in your mind, you feel like, man, your mind is blown. I got to tell everybody about this. When I first learned about the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, it was new to me. I'm like, man, I got to tell everybody about this. But as you start breaking it down, then you realize it's like everybody ain't interested. So you like, man, man, you crazy. They like, I ain't crazy. I'm not interested. Man, y'all stupid, man. And so you go on the attack. You have to learn how to be like, okay, well, you know what, bro? You know what, sis? You have that right. And then you have to try your best to be an example of that which you say you believe in, so that way your actions will speak louder than your words. But you also have to understand how to communicate with people. It's an old saying that goes like this. They talk about how you can attract flies with honey. Is that how it goes? You attract more flies with honey. Is it flies? You attract more with honey than you do with another substance that's a little bit more bitter. So you got to learn how to talk to people. Got to learn how to talk to people. See, you could say something to somebody, like we said earlier, the wrong way. Presentation It's everything. Presentation goes a long way. And it ain't about kissing nobody's butt, because that's sometimes, man, I ain't kissing nobody, just to try. Nah, that's not, you missing it. If you have the desire to help somebody, to help them better themselves, if you have a body of knowledge that you feel it, and you want to relay that to them, or if you see somebody, just general situation, you see somebody going in the wrong direction, that's a way to communicate to them that they would accept, that they will take in, as opposed to you attacking them because of their flaws. You ever seen somebody come around somebody else and try to check them in front of people, compared to putting somebody to the side and telling them what you got to say to them? If you try to check somebody in front of everybody, you've embarrassed them. So now they are on a defensive, and they feel like they have to defend themselves because you tried to embarrass me. You tried to put me on blast in front of everybody. So their reaction is going to be totally different, because they feel like, man, I got to save face. I got to, compared to if you were to just say, hey, but let me holler at you for a minute. Or if I call you and, hey, man, I need to talk to you about something. Then you could say certain things, even if you're getting things off your chest, you could say certain things. They might still be upset. Y'all might still argue, but it will be received in a different spirit as compared to, because nothing you say is going to matter if you try to check somebody in front of everybody. Now all they thinking about is the fact that you came at them in front of everybody else. Hey, man, how you just gonna come at me, man? We all out there. You trying to back the comment. Nothing you talk about matters now. They got to defend themselves. Young Prodigy 7, appreciate the love, man. Appreciate the love, man. I thank you, man. I thank you in the Most High. I appreciate that love. No doubt, man. May the Most High bless you tenfold. It's a way to communicate with people. Those of you who are watching this and y'all like to go fishing, there are certain climates and environments that a fisherman understands have to be right in order to increase their chances of catching some fish. And I heard a saying that says you can't beat on the water when you're trying to catch fish. You can't make a lot of noise and be just disturbing the water when you're trying to catch a fish. So the people that you are out trying to communicate with and save, like it says in the scripture, Jesus was a fisher of men. You can't be a fisher of men and you beating on the water, because you're going to run the fish off. See? The greatest way to gain proper understanding the language is gaining the knowledge of self, as taught by Elijah Muhammad and Farrakhan. No greater teachers in the world of the knowledge of self than the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. There are no greater teachers. I'm just gonna tell it like it is. Appreciate you, brother Chris. Want to learn by knowledge of self. Uncut, unapologetic. But you can't be sensitive. Is that Marique or Maric? What's up, Halfstein? I see you. You have to make yourself presentable and worthy of the message you are trying to spread. Come on, man. Yeah, we live in a world where people are going to say, hey, man, well, Are you what you say? Or what are you what you're trying to tell me to be? Are you that? And a lot of times we're not. I'm not. I'm working to be an example. We all are. But one thing we got to understand too, knowledge can come from anywhere. Always remember that. Never be judgmental about where the truth comes from. They say a lie don't care who tell it. We shouldn't care where the truth comes from. So if there's somebody who is not where they need to be or want to be, could be a bum on the street. I've heard some of the most wise, profound words come out of the mouths of homeless people and so-called bums and crackheads and so-called crazy people, people who just walking around talking to themselves in the streets. And in the midst of all that talking that they doing to themselves, something will come out. You be like, man, he said something right. Did y'all hear what he said right there though? See? Tina said, even a fool will hit you with a good one every now and then. Even the devil will tell the truth sometimes. Now, his intentions of telling it might not be on point, but all you want is the truth. See? Mr. Still Winner says, name someone who is worthy other than God. Well, none of us, all of us fall short. But the goal, bruh, is to try to qualify ourselves, to work to qualify. We got to work to raise our moral character up as high as we can get it. Of course, we're not worthy. We're flawed. But the object is to work to make every day another step of raising your moral character the best you can. You're going to have wins and losses. The key is to not have a bunch of big losses compared to little wins. When you have your losses, you want your losses to be little losses and your wins to be bigger than your losses. You're going to strike out, but you want to make sure you hit some home runs too, man. What did I say that t-shirt? What did I say the next t-shirt was going to be? Hold on real quick. Shameless plug. It's my new shirt, man. These are print on demand. So in other words, you would have to place your order, and it's already available on southparkcoalition.net. You would have to place your order along with your size and your color. We got them in black or white. Then we will print them on demand. So you got to allow a couple of weeks delivery on that note. Y'all see what the shirt says. That strength in numbers. Knowledge. So y'all can order these now. But when I started this live, I came up with another one. It said, it's going to say action speaks louder than words. And just like numbers is crossed out on here, action will be crossed out. And it'll say listening speaks louder than words. So get ready for that. Let's see what y'all talking about up in here, man. Go ahead on and let's take this moment real quick for y'all to shout y'all cities out, city, state, country, wherever you're at. I got a few little public service announcements to make while we at it. Corpus Christi, where y'all at? We've been postponing this trip to Corpus for about 3 weeks now, but we will be in Corpus this Saturday. This Saturday, we're going to Corpus Christi, y'all. Yeah, shout out where y'all at, man, while I'm running my mouth. I love seeing when y'all shout y'all cities out because I love to see the diverse mix. But Corpus Christi, if anybody's in here from Corpus or live in Corpus or close to it, me and Point Blank will be in Corpus Christi, Texas this Saturday for the next meet and greet. Behind these bars and all the other stuff we selling. Blank got the vinyl. I can't even see that. Hold on, can y'all see? Y'all see Point Blank's vinyl back there behind me? I got some vinyl too. Shirts, all that. So Corpus Christi this Saturday. I'll put the information in the description, or I'll make a video. I'll just make another video about it. Somebody asked me about San Antonio. I'll be in San Antonio July the 10th. Back in San Antonio, July the 10th, performing with the homie Nova Kane. Where else? Opelousas, Louisiana. Opelousas, Louisiana. Me and the Blankster will be in Opelousas, Louisiana, June the 26th. Yeah, that's this month. June the 26th. That's next weekend. Weekend after next. We will be in Opelousas, Louisiana, man. So we're gonna get all this. We're gonna get all these spots, man. The album is done. A Blessing and the Burden. I'm trying to remember everything before I go. The Blessing and the Burden album is finished. We just mixing it down right now. K Waters doing his thing right now. B Hayes, you asking a question? Do I write books? Yeah, man. I got 2 books out. One of them out of stock right now. We're getting ready to re-up real soon. This is my book. Go to southparkcoalition.net. If you ever wanted to know why I wrote certain lyrics, why I wrote certain songs, it's all in there. Watch this. Look. I'm going to read this book in 2 seconds. Watch this. I just read the whole book. Yeah. Brother Chris said, what's the closest city to Oklahoma we'll be? You know, we got to get up that way, bro. We don't have nothing on the schedule up in that direction, but we got to get up that way. I haven't been to Oklahoma City in a while. I got a buddy that lives out there. Shout out to my homie Dana. So we need to make that happen. Oh, good. I see you, B. Hayes. Okay, salute. Charles Ramsey in the building. Alan Crooks. Yeah. The Duke of Conway. Man. I don't know about that, Duke, but I appreciate the love. So, yeah. Lot coming up. Lot going on, man. The new album will be out probably realistically now, probably the first week of July. So we'll have all the pre-order info up whenever it's ready. Who gonna buy my new album, man? Show of hands. Peace sign, show of hands. How many of y'all gonna actually support your big brother's new album when it drops? By a show of hands. I need to know who really rocking with me. M. Kyle's in the building. Mississippi. We need to get out there, man. What part of Mississippi you in? YRN Orbit. LeBron. Yeah, man, show of hands, man. Who gonna buy the book? See, Young Prodigy, you can't ask how much, man. I mean, not the book, the album. You can't ask how much. Dollar Bill, look, you not buying the album. How you gonna be done produced half the album and then you buy it. Nah, you're not buying. Your money is no good, brother. All good. Appreciate the love, man. I'm an underground artist, man. So I'm supported by underground love. Always have been. And it's a beautiful thing. So my goal is to never cheat y'all. Queen Hardy, I see you. My goal is to never cheat y'all. Because y'all ain't never cheated me. If you see a man in this chat, his name is Martial Arts Productions. That's who I keep calling Dollar Bill. He produced about close to half this album that's getting ready to come out. And he dropped some fire on that thing. Y'all gonna love the stuff he did. Have y'all got my new single? I got a lot to talk about. The Houston Is single is available. Y'all can get it off the digital platforms. Y'all go make sure y'all purchase a little hot little 99-cent single. Searcy, Arkansas. Appreciate the love, Trish. And if it's any of y'all, man, if we have a fan base in y'all city, and y'all like, man, we want y'all to come out here and do the same thing, these meet and greets, just contact me, hook it up. Let's hook it up. It don't take a lot of y'all, man. If y'all say, hey, man, K, we got at least 50 to 100 people out here that rock with y'all. We just got to reach out, promote to them. We coming. We coming. We ain't got to wait for it to be 300, 400, 500,000 people. If we got 50 to 100 that rock with us in a city and the promo is on point, we coming. See? So let's focus and tighten up our communication skills, y'all, and try to be more respectful to one another in how we speak and how we respond, and to be more mindful of each other's personal struggles that we might be, that people are going through that you might not know they're going through. People are looking down and kind of, but you don't know what they're going through. So you just like, man, what's wrong with us? What's wrong with him? Always try to be mindful and considerate of what a person might be dealing with. Learn to do your best to learn to read people without just having to say something. You can look at them sometimes and kind of see that their mood is like not normally how you used to seeing it be. He usually upbeat and that, but today he kind of just like quiet. He just really not saying nothing. She not saying nothing. It's like, it ain't always about saying, what's wrong with you? You can say, man, you all right? Or you can not say nothing at all. You just kind of just be there. Walk in and toss him a cookie or something. Don't even say nothing. Tina said compassion. Thank you. The word I was looking for. I'm saying all these extra words and she just come out and just compassion. See? Thank you. Charles Ramsey, you got love over here. Anytime I'm in your presence, you got me striving to be more lyrical than I was, man. Salute to you. See, look, thank you, Charles. Look, we have to focus on making each other better. Every day we should be like, how many people can I make better today? And let me focus on surrounding myself with somebody that could possibly make me better today. Let me try to pull something from somewhere that can make me better, and let me try to just redistribute that. Distribute receive. Distribute, receive. Try to make people better, man. Our young people are hurting and in pain. They shooting and killing. They in pain. That's pain coming out. Hurt and pain coming out. We got to make them better. We got to meet them where they are. We got to speak their language, and we got to understand their pain and understand their language. We don't look down on our young people. Said that a million times. Alan Crooks just said something that was so strong. Alan Crooks just said something that was so strong. He said, sometimes you don't even have to know the answer. That's really the key. Sometimes you don't know the answer. If somebody could be spilling it out, and in your mind, we've all been there. We've all been in situations where it's like somebody's spilling something out to you, and literally it's nothing you can do to help them. It's a problem that you not qualified. It's just above you. But you feel that pain. You don't know the answer. It's all right to tell them, man, you know what? I wish it was something I could do. I wish it was something I could say. It's nothing I could say or do, bro. But all I can say is, I'm here for you. But whatever you may see in me that I can offer. Salute, y'all. I ain't gonna hold y'all up long. Peace.